Welcome to Road Gateway Rotary Club. Nice to see so many faces. We're going to get started with our pledge and inspiration today. And for the pledge, we have Pat back.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with indivisible and justice for all. That didn't turn out right.
Thank you.
I said I added a with.
Exactly. All right. And Tommy, I think you have our inspiration today.
I do. Sometimes the bravest and most important thing you can do is just show up. Mom Spark.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. All right. I know we have some guests. Before we get to them, do we have any visiting Rotarians? We do, actually. I know we have a visiting Rotarian from the Grants Pass Rotary Club. Kate Lasky is here.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Kate. Any other visiting Rotarians?
Madam President?
Yes.
I have a guest today. Tim Sweeney is the new superintendent for District 7, and he's from Coquille, where he's been a Rotarian. And I'd like to have a warm Rotary welcome for him.
Wonderful. Welcome, Tim. Nice to have you here.
Nice to be
All
here.
right. And I know we have some other guests. We're going to introduce Rebecca in a little bit. She is our speaker today from the library, Josephine Community Library Foundation. And I know we've got some special guests visiting with the Walkers today. Deb, did you want to introduce?
Hi. Yetta, our former Rotary exchange student, and her dad, Eki, is here visiting from Germany.
Yay, welcome. So nice to see you again.
I'm here. And whenever, if we have time for an update, she'll give an update of life in her, since she's been gone.
Definitely. We will definitely make time for that. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Who else do we have? I think we've got, let's see here. I saw some other new faces. A welcome again to Judy Basker, who just joined the club. I see her there. Hi, Judy. And I think we have, let's see here. Well, maybe not. Any other guests that we missed? Okay. Let's do some quick announcements. I wanted to just give everyone in the club a heads up. You might be receiving a few emails from me this weekend. I want to send out one just very brief survey to everyone just to kind of get an idea. We're planning on coming back to in-person meetings at Wild River Pub starting in September. We've got a team working on getting all of the tech set up, so it will still be hybrid for those of you who want us to continue attending via Zoom. But for those who are interested in coming back to in-person meetings, we'll have some more details coming out. But I did want to send out a survey just so we can kind of get an idea of how many people might be planning to attend at least occasionally the in-person meetings, so we can get a little bit of a head count going in. So expect to see that. And I'll also be sending an email out about committee signups. So you should see both of those come through this weekend. Doug, did you have any other announcements for us today?
Yeah, I've got three. Am I echoing somewhere?
Nope, you're good, I think. Oh,
First announcement, the Fork food drive at Grocery Outlet raised about $27,000 worth of food and cash donations. So thank you to everybody who went there and helped. It was a fun time, and I think we did real well out there. Appreciate it. The second announcement is the tech team. I sent out a little email for the technology team, inviting people to be part of that team. So I've heard basically crickets from everybody. So I'm going to come after you so we can get the technology worked out. It should be a pretty simple task once we get going and everything. And then I had a third announcement, and I can't remember what it was. Somebody help me.
Homeless shelter.
No, it wasn't the shelter.
Oh,
I did want to say, thank you to everybody on the meal train for helping this shelter out. I think we filled up this past week with a variety of Rotarians. We still have a couple weeks to go. The shelter's funding, their temporary funding ends sometime in September. That was the last conversation we had with UCAN and various groups. They're helping fund that shelter. So we're trying to fill up the meal trains up until sometime around mid-September. And I'll try to send out an email about that in the near future to remind everybody. And there's also some oddball things needed there, and I'll try to get a list: toilet paper, hand towels, paper plates, that kind of thing. And we'll get back to you on all of that. Thanks.
awesome. Thanks, Doug. All right, Wynn, did you have an update you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, a couple things real quick. First of all, it's great to see everybody virtually. Can't wait till we can see you all in person. That's going to be totally awesome sometime soon. Two things. One, around hospital capacity across the state. You know, it's as bad as it was during the Delta or Omicron surge, but we're not seeing a surge in COVID cases. While some of the hospitalizations are from patients with COVID-19, statewide, hospitals are seeing an uptick in patients due to many people across the state that delayed their medical procedures or doctor's appointments during the pandemic, which is not really a surprise to anyone. The hospitalizations are for a variety of reasons, but they're not at this time at the volume that we typically see during this time of the year. This is not the busy season for hospitals across the state, and but it's very, very busy. And last week, the Oregon Association of Hospitals and Health Systems held a legislative briefing to provide really a full context to those officials around what the overcapacity crisis is happening across Oregon hospitals. At Asante, we continue to be just like the rest of the state, where we're at or above capacity on a daily basis, not because of a surge of COVID patients like the Delta or Omicron surge. It's due to the other reasons that I mentioned before. The other thing real quick, and I'm gonna pop it into the chat, is, you know, it's been really hot. Everybody knows it's been extremely hot. And I'm worried about heat illness, because that can happen to people. And so I personally know somebody in their 30s that recently suffered from a heat illness, and that's, you know, very young and very concerning. So I'm going to pop some things in there in the chat that talks about what is heat illness, what are the signs of a heat stroke, what are the signs of heat exhaustion, and how can I treat the illness? How do I prevent a health illness like this? We shared this with all of our Asante employees a couple of days ago, because we're starting to see an uptick of this, because we've had near record heat over the last couple of weeks. And it seems like that's going to continue for a while. So I'll pop that into the chat.
Thank you, Wynn. I appreciate it. Val, do you have updates for us from the city?
Yes, I do actually. Main thing I'm just going to say, as Kate, and if you were listening earlier, there's a lot of stuff between the city and the county going on right now, because we are August 19th is the date that anything that's going to go on November's ballot has to be turned in by the 19th, so it can go through a certain testing time. So this is the time to get things on the ballot. Psilocybin came up. The county came to the city and asked us to go with them on a ballot measure to give voters the choice as to whether they want psilocybin service centers in the county and city. The county will be putting on the ballot, but the city council voted not to put it on the ballot, which means that they will go ahead with the Oregon Health rules that are going to start in January to allow service centers. And we'll hear the rules as they come out. So that was one piece, one thing. Another thing we did last night at our meeting is the city is going to put on a ballot measure to put a stipend on for counselors. A couple of years ago, we went for the stipend. It was $1,000. It was pretty pretty handedly voted down. There were a lot of other things on there that changed the charter. This time it is only for the stipend. That's the only thing we're going for. And it is a $400 stipend as opposed to $1,000. And it would not take effect until 2025, January. So that gives everybody the opportunity. If there's somebody that you don't like on council and you don't want, you can get rid of them. But the whole idea behind it is just to have those people who do run. I mean, it does take a lot of time. If you really do want a broad range of people, then if you're a working person, it would be helpful to have them have something to, because they would have to miss some work. If they have children, they would have to find childcare. So those are the sorts of things that we talked about last night. And the last one is this, the countywide sales tax, the 3% seasonal sales tax, we called it. It goes from April till October. The county came to us, told us about it. One of the goals the city has really trying to been doing is to stabilize public safety funding and not have it all be on property taxes. And this is an opportunity to have that discussion and discuss why having it somewhere besides just the property taxes could be a boon for the entire county. It would give money to the county and the sheriff's department. It would give money specifically to Cape Junction so they could have deputies within their own town and not depend upon the county. And it also would benefit the city. And so the city last night, it's on Monday, we're going to be talking about writing up to where we put in the ordinance that the money that is collected through the sales tax would offset the levy. So the money would come off of the levy that if the money that comes in through the sales tax. So we're working on that. I think we all know that we've had an unstable system for a long time, and this every 3 to 5 years is not working. We're losing police officers both in the county and the city and fire department because they go to areas where they have a stable funding and they don't have to go out and beg for their job. So, hopefully I'm hoping to put together a presentation just about our taxing system so people understand, because it's really convoluted. It goes clear back to 1996 and the passage of Measure 5. It's never been updated or changed the legislature. So people need to understand it before we move forward. So I think that's pretty much my update.
Great. Thank you, Val. Does anybody else have an announcement before we get to our program for the day?
Can I?
Don't see any. All right.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
I'm
Jody, I
waving,
missed you.
waving. Hey, I just wanted to make one last announcement because I will probably be, I don't know if I'll be here next week or not due to the fair. Fair starts next Tuesday, goes through Sunday. It is free admission for all. There are restrictions on what you can bring in and stuff. And so ultimately that's what the posse has been asked to do, is basically be a greeter and just kind of tell people to, look at the rules that are there. If there's any problems, we call concierge. We don't try to mess with it. But anyway, I want to thank Jim Huber and Kelly Gonzalez, who have volunteered to come and help work a shift for me. And if anybody else has time available, we've got slots available mainly on Friday and Saturday that are still open. The posse works 6-hour shifts, but I'm not asking Rotary to do that. So I've broken them down into 3-hour shifts. So if you have any time that you think you might be able to, it makes $12 an hour that will come to Rotary. We'll just do a pass through on that, and would love to be able to have some more help besides the fact of being able to help the club earn some money. So that was my announcement. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jody. So let Jody know if you're available to help out. All right. Okay, Doug, were you going to introduce our speaker today? I thought I saw you on our list.
Yeah, with pleasure. So our speaker today is Rebecca Stoltz. She is the director for the Library Foundation. And the Library Foundation, I'm on the board with a number of other people. I think there's quite a few Rotarians on that group. Our job or goal is to supplement the buildings and the extracurricular activities of the library. And Rebecca's going to talk about some of the activities we have going with Williams Library, the Cave Junction Library, and then in the future, capital campaign for the Grants Pass Library. And so with pleasure, I introduce Rebecca.
Thanks, Doug.
And hello, everybody. It's so great to see so many of you. It feels like it's been a couple years since I've seen some of your faces. I'm going to share my screen really quick. So if all went well, you should see the foundation logo. Perfect. So as Doug mentioned, with the passing of the library district in 2017, the library was able to have a small tax base and some stable funding. Woohoo! That's always exciting. So the Library Foundation, our role really is to support the library for things outside of their budget, really focusing on capital improvements with our buildings. And so I'll jump right into that. So when the district passed, we went and evaluated our current buildings, and it was determined that our Illinois Valley Library and our Grants Pass branch were built in 1959 and hadn't been updated since the 70s. There were serious safety and space issues along with those buildings. The picture on the screen is of our current Williams Library. It's a 1977 temporary building that has no running water or a bathroom. So the foundation and district boards have endorsed a facilities master plan that addresses these issues within our buildings. Our new Williams Library. Now, over the last year, the Library Foundation, in partnership with the Library District, has successfully fundraised just over $3 million to fund 2 building projects. It's very exciting. Our Williams Library will finally have running water and a bathroom, and that is a huge feat that has been in the workings for at least a decade that I know of. In June, we launched a fundraising drive to raise the last remaining funds for that project. And the goal was to raise $135,000. And the community, it was a community-wide fundraising drive, but really Williams community members really stepped up and supported it and exceeded the goal by raising $140,000. The property is located on 2 beautiful acres. We'll be able to have more parking places, outdoor programming. We're very excited about the potential of more floor space. Our current library out in Williams is just over 800 square feet. Our children's programs are lucky to have enough room for 6 to participate. Through all of the excitement out in Williams and talking about this new building, the branch manager out there had 16 kids at the summer reading story time last week. So just the whole community is really rallied behind this project. We're going to have a beautiful wall of books, very similar to Beauty and the Beast, if you know that reference. We will be hiring a contractor in October, and the building will be renovated and up and ready to go by June of next year. We'll be sure to send everyone an invitation to come and celebrate with us. Our Illinois Valley Renovation project. Now, this building the district does own, and we've done a lot of work with the community out there, really listening to what the community needs. And through that work, it was determined that a meeting space, a community room, was one of the biggest things that they requested. We're going to be able to have more room in the children's library. The community room will have about 80 people and be set up for a teaching kitchen. So there's all types of potential partnerships out in the Illinois Valley. Currently, renovations are expected to also be completed in 2023. Next year is going to be a busy year for library buildings. And that brings me to the Grants Pass Library. The foundation, we have an option on a piece of property in downtown Grants Pass. It's located between J and K and 6th and 7th Streets. And we are working to raise the $2 million that we need to purchase that property by June of next year. And we have already raised just a little over halfway. So a little over $1 million. And with the new Grants Pass library, we'll be able to have the room that we need. The current Grants Pass branch is owned by the county, and we are always running out of room here. A couple of weeks ago, we had the bug guy come for summer reading, and we had to turn away kids because we were beyond capacity in the room that we have for these types of programs. We're always running out of space. So it'll be really exciting to see more technology, updated technology, spaces for people to come together and really gather and have an opportunity to come together, work on different projects, have meetings. And then I will put this link in the chat. CBS Sunday Morning did a beautiful story beyond books and what the libraries of the 21st century are, because we're so much more than I can't say that word. Sorry about that. We're so much more than books. It's the opportunity to have access to technology, the space to come together, and just really removing barriers and providing access for so many things. I will happily take any questions that you might have. I would encourage you to reach out. If you go to our website, we're posting all of the updates on the building projects. And I would love to talk to you about supporting the building project as we're really working on purchasing the property for downtown Grants Pass. Once the property is purchased, we are expecting about 5 years before a new Grants Pass library will be built. 5 years goes by in a blink of an eye, it seems. And already we are a couple years ahead of schedule from our original timeline. Thanks to the hard work of so many people, including the Doug and the Library Foundation board members and the Library District staff and volunteers and board members as well. Are there any questions? Or Doug, did you want to add anything? Okay.
Looks like Jim Huber has a question.
Hi, this is a pretty simple question, but on the plan for the Illinois Valley renovation, there was an outdoor steam, it's called steam area or something like that. What was that? What is that? I didn't understand steam.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And that's essentially, it'll be an area where we can have messy and engaging programs outside.
Great, Val.
Yeah, that's a real exciting thing to have those. That's where you do the drones and the air and all the fun stuff that kids love to do. So that's awesome. And it is awesome to see all this. I was asking you about the Illinois Valley as well, because you said the renovation was like 2.some million. Has that money been raised as well?
Yes, we have fully funded the Williams and Illinois Valley projects.
So did that come through the community or through grants, or is it a combination, or just that's awesome. I'm so impressed.
Yes, it's been a very exciting year with a multitude of different funding sources. So there were community donations. There was a block grant in partnership with the Library District and the City of Cave Junction, which are huge partners in funding. And that was a $1.5 million grant. And then funding designated by Representative Morgan.
Okay.
Another 1.2 million that went between the two projects as well. We also received grants from Four Way Community Foundation and a couple other grant funders.
Okay, that's incredible. That's so nice to see. And I do hope that we can help you reach for the Grants Pass Library, because I think that's long overdue. And I like that beyond, because especially if there's one thing we learned in COVID, I really feel is that the importance of coming together and having a place. And it's nice to see Cape Junction have that opportunity to have that. I know that they are very much in need of a community center. So that's wonderful to see what you're doing.
Thank you. We're
Yeah,
pretty excited.
Yeah, we're all pretty thrilled. I think, Valerie, what you just touched on a little bit about community space and what we've realized from COVID is a big driver in these library renovations is having space for the community to get together and do their various functions. It's not just about books anymore. It's about the dynamics of community and dynamics of creating space where people can get together and do things, and especially in the unknown future. We don't know what the needs are going to be 30 years from now, but what we know, we're going to need something. The library is going to be there for the community.
And the flexibility in that space, I think, is really important so that it can adapt to so many more things than what we currently are struggling with.
Any other questions? Don't see anybody's
Oh,
hand up,
you all should be asking, how can you donate? That's what you should be asking.
right? I see Kelly's hand is raised.
Okay, so yeah, how should we donate? But that's a good question, Doug. But here's my other one. You sparked my interest with the test kitchen. So, okay, wanting to know here, what are we testing in this kitchen? Are we concocting things? Are kids going to be learning how to cook? This just could go in several different directions.
It absolutely can, and I'm so glad you asked. That's what libraries do, right? We spark our
Yes.
curiosity and our imagination. So really, we're looking to partner with local businesses and restaurants to come in and maybe provide cooking classes and other partnerships in that way. Healthy cooking, Taylor sausage, Wild River Pub, how to make a pizza, that type of thing. It could also be cooking classes for kids. So the possibilities are endless.
This is just awesome. It's very community based. It's what's so needed. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I see it's labeled Brandis, but it looks like Kate and Brenda.
Yeah, it's Kate and Brenda. We're in the Ben Bones room at the Grants Pass Library branch, and Brandis was very kind to set all of this up for us. Yeah, on the test kitchen, we can do cookbook launches, we can do SNAP education, we can have a community tomato variety tasting followed by a seed swap for the tastiest varieties. There are so many different things that we can do in a shared kitchen space and with a demonstration kitchen. It's really exciting, and providing that community with a meeting space after we lost the county building and there just is no place other than opening up the entire high school and having this big cavernous echoey room to have a space where people can get together and do the business of civic life or celebrate things and meet. And we're just so excited. We can't wait to have that space. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any other questions or comments?
I will put a link to our website and how you can donate and support the projects, as well as my contact information. And thank you so much for letting me present and give an update. So much has happened in this past year. And next June, we will have so much to celebrate. So we will be in touch so that you can also come and celebrate with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. That's very exciting. Debbie, did you have something you wanted to add?
So I listened to a presentation you did for AAUW, and you mentioned at that time that grant funding for purchases of property were just about non-existent. And so it really depends on the community coming through to get that initial property, this $1 million that we need right now in order to then be able to work on grants. Is that still true?
That is still very much true, and thank you for adding that. You know, once we have the property purchase, we won't be ready to immediately build. We have to fundraise in order to have the funds to build the building. And so that gap in time makes it nearly impossible to get grant funding for just the property purchase. So we really have been fortunate and are out there working very hard to fundraise within our community, as well as always looking out for any type of funding possibility. But it really is our community and our board members making pledges to be able to secure this property purchase. And we're already halfway there. So 1 million in a year with the support of the community, we can do it together. Absolutely.
Yep. Suzanne.
Hi, Rebecca. Can you please comment what's better for the Library Foundation? Recurring donations that just automatically happen or one-time donations?
That's a great question. And it really depends on the designation of your gift. And if it's towards the grants past property purchase, we have a 1-year timeline. So we're really trying to secure those gifts within that timeline in order to reach our goal. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Very exciting as a member of the Library District Board. It's been really thrilling to hear all of the updates every month and see how quickly all of these projects have been progressing in the last couple of years. And we're just really really excited for Williams and Illinois Valley and anxious to see what is going to come for grants passed in the future. So certainly appreciate everyone's support in those efforts. Kate.
I just want to give a shout out to certainly Gina Marie for being one of our board members, and you're our vice president this year. So thank you for your leadership and your commitment to community and all that you do in your leadership roles, because I guess you're president of Rotary too. And I really want to acknowledge the hard work and amazing talents of Rebecca Stoltz. We would not be where we are without her. What a gift it was the day you decided to come work at the library. And we're glad you're here and thriving and choosing us to lend your talents. So thank you, Rebecca.
That's very sweet, Kate. Thank you. You're awesome. And I'm lucky I still get to work with you, and everybody is part of this project.
Yeah. All right. Any last questions or comments about the library? I don't see any. Well, I do want to give, I'm excited we've got some time for Sergeant at Arms, but before we get there, I wanted to give Yetta a chance to say hello and give us all an update. We're so excited to have her back visiting with us for just a little bit, and be great to hear what's been happening in your life.
Yeah, hi. A lot has happened actually. So it was weird times when I got back home. I did go back to school, even though I would not have had to go, or I didn't get graded. But it did have to be there in the first couple of weeks after coming back, when school started after homeschooling. So that was weird times. But I did get back into playing the violin. And when COVID got a little better, I did also get back into my orchestra and got to try a couple of new sports, some through schools. I started surfing and played tennis in school. And I also got into boxing. So that was really fun, getting to try a couple of new things. Then after summer, my 2 last years of school started, and they were pretty intense. And I still got to reconnect to some old friends, and I did make a lot of new friends through school. And so I just graduated this summer. So I'm actually just beyond a couple of really intense studying periods and have a kind of a long summer now. So that's nice. I get to travel a lot, get to visit here. That's been really nice. And yeah, in fall, I will be going off to university. I actually don't know where I will end up yet because we didn't get our acceptance letters yet. But I will probably be going into something like sociology and politics.
That's great. Does anybody have any questions for Yetta? Well, we have her here. Nope, Val. Nope.
Yes, I did have a question. I was trying to find the button. Did I hear her say she was surfing? That she took surfing? I'm just wondering where do you learn to surf in Germany? Where have you learned?
We can go surfing on lakes, so it's not the kind of surfing a lot of people do over here. It's more with a sail, and then yeah, it's windsurfing.
Okay. Okay. All right, great. That sounds wonderful. It sounds like you've had a very active and wonderful life. And I say proud, we need young people like you going into sociology and human services and politics. So young, smart women, that's awesome.
Dawn.
Well, first of all, I'll attest to the fact that Yetta is definitely a smart woman. We're lucky to have her as another generation. So when you're talking about universities and applying, are there certain universities that you have identified? How does that work in Germany?
Well, most of the universities you get in through your grades. So through the GPA you get when you graduate. And it is harder for some subjects than it is for the other, and some universities are better in one part, or maybe better in social studies or better in kind of science. So I did apply to universities that are known for social studies and that are good for that field. And some are harder to get in than others, and I'll see how it will work out.
Okay, if you need any US recommendations, we're here for you.
I was going to say, are the schools that you're looking at, are they all in Germany or are they in other parts of Europe, or where are you looking?
Yeah, for now, I wanted to stay in Germany. So for a bachelor's degree, I was planning on doing most of the part in Germany. You could do programs like going abroad for a semester or something like that. But for the most part, I'll stay in Germany for now. Yeah.
Debbie Brownell.
So I know that your time at Grants Pass High School didn't count credit-wise for your graduation requirements in Germany, but thinking about your time here, are there any recommendations you would make or advice you would give to incoming Rotary Exchange students about what kind of classes to take and what was most helpful for you?
I think the most important thing is actually not the classes, so the academical part, but getting into sports or getting into orchestra like I did when you play an instrument, or getting into choir, because those are the places you get to connect with people and where you get to make friends because people share the same interests. And that has been really helpful for me. And also the school requires you to take, for example, US history. And that has been really nice because you get to know a lot more about the history you have, for example, and get to know the culture. I did, for example, take astronomy, which I thought was really fun because it's nothing we have in German schools. So I think it's most fun to take classes that you don't get to take in your home country.
All right, thank you.
Tommy.
Hi, Yetta. As the youth exchange officer when you were here, I just want to say you were one of our best youth exchange students. You weathered several difficult times and you just did great. You were always polite and wonderful. Dad, You did a great job with her. So thank you so much for coming to our country and our place.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been wonderful to have you back with us. We're excited because we're going to be getting ready to jump back into Youth Exchange hopefully soon. We're going to start interviewing students this fall to have a Youth Exchange student sometime next year. So it'll be exciting to get back into that program. And we've just been very blessed as a club to have a lot of wonderful exchange students. And Tommy is right. I think Yetta, you're one of our favorites. So it's wonderful to see you back again.
And I'm really thankful for the program. I actually got involved with Rotary, which is pretty big in Germany.
Good.
I'm starting to prepare other exchange students to get into their countries. And we're actually starting this year. We're getting inbounds this summer, and we're also sending out people to other countries.
That's fabulous.
That is fabulous. For everyone else in the club, if you have any interest in Youth Exchange, there are going to be opportunities for you to jump in and help support. I'm sure we will need some assistance in interviewing students in the fall, and we typically do that. If you're interested in being a host family for an incoming student, please consider that. And then we'll also be looking for folks who are interested in helping and just kind of run the program from the club perspective. So Tommy mentioned the youth exchange youth exchange officer. So we'll be looking for a couple of people who would be willing to be involved with the students, and we'll provide more information about what exactly those roles look like and entail. But if you have any interest in working with youth exchange students, short-term, long-term, in any kind of format, please let me know and we'll make sure that you get that information. All right, we have had very shortened time for Sergeant at Arms the last few weeks, and so I'm excited to have some extra time today. And Kelly, do you know who is Sergeant at Arms this week?
Yeah, that'd be me.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. So
Deb was going to do it, but I think she's still on vacation. And so hello, everyone. It is a new month. We're in the month of August, which takes us 1 month closer to my favorite season, fall. And I don't know if you remember last month when I subbed for Deb, I mentioned that July was named for Julius Caesar. Well, they kept it in the family because August was named for his adopted nephew, Augustus. And so, yeah, that I think they have that thread for a while there of keeping it in the family. What else big happened? Okay, in terms of civil rights, you can't think of anything bigger, really. Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. That happened at the end of August. I don't know if you realized over 250,000 people were on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial where he gave it. That's amazing. And I also want to remind us that this is Rotary Membership Month. So we're thinking about membership. And when I think of that, I think one of the things I love the most about Rotary is we exchange ideas. And that's a big piece in Rotary. And I have to quote just a small Shakespeare quote that I love about that. How far that little candle throws its beams, so shines a good deed in a weary world. And I believe that's what we do. Whether the world is weary or not, we're throwing out those beams. But not to get too serious here, I don't know if you also realize that tomorrow is National Underwear Day. I'm not sure how they're going to celebrate it, though. But anyway, just thought I'd leave you with that. Happy and sad bucks, I've added a new category. I also want comfort bucks. And today I'll start with 20. My comfort bucks are for Brenda Patton, our Rotarian who has lost her husband. And I feel at this point, we just all want to hug her and give her comfort. So my $20 goes to comfort bucks. And today we celebrate with happy bucks, sad bucks, and comfort bucks.
Yeah.
Who's got their hand up? And it looks like Pat. I see you first.
$20 for a new granddaughter and a vacation last week with the family.
Oh, nice. Well, that's always a reason to celebrate. Okay, happy bucks there. Val Lovelace. I believe
Yeah,
you.
I'm just gonna give, I'm gonna give happy bucks because I am happy that tomorrow the Rotary is doing Lemonade Day in our community. So there are like up to 200 kids that are putting together and have put together lemonade stands, have designed their own lemonade, have come up with a marketing plan, and are out on the streets of Grants Pass tomorrow selling their lemonade. So as you drive around town tomorrow between 3 and 6, look for the stands, stop by, give the kids kudos, tell them, talk wonderful things about their lemonade and their stands. So I really want to promote that. So happy to have a chamber that supports the economic growth of kids in our community. And I'm really excited to be there. And then you can stick around because tomorrow is also First Friday. So a great time downtown tomorrow. And I think actually it hasn't been too bad heat wise. We're still below 3 digits. So get out and enjoy while we can.
Please
So
come and see us in front of Kitchen Company. I'm going to be there with my 8-year-old next door neighbor selling
Okay.
Ryland's Rose Refresher, hibiscus rose lemonade. So please.
Oh, nice.
See? There we go. Lots of
Oh,
fun.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, moving on, and thanks Val for that information. Susan.
Thanks so much, Kelly. I have 8 gratitude bucks, which are also, I'll count those as happy bucks. I last Friday wrapped up 8 amazing years with All Care Health and am just so incredibly grateful to have been a part of the work that they do here in our community and throughout Southwestern Oregon. And then I will throw an additional 20 happy bucks as I am really excited to have been supported to start my own consulting group. And we'll be working with Common Thread Consulting. And so hope to see so many of my partners from All Care around new tables, but just really, really excited about what the future holds.
That is so exciting. Good for you, Susan. And congratulations. Yay. Doug Walker.
Hi, I'm first, then Doug. Happy bucks for Yetta and Eki being here. I mean, this has been wonderful. It's been such a good thing. Gratitude bucks for Lisa Kramer and community. That is Chris, my son, that has surrounded Brenda during this time. And Brenda being so strong and wonderful. Just love, sending out love. I should have ended with the happy bucks. But anyway, yeah, I love this community. And Doug will jump in now. And he'll probably say something funny and good, so that'll be good.
Yeah, no pressure. So yeah, I have happy bucks for Yetta and her father Eki too. They've been wonderful to have here and everything. And then I've got Mr. Sweeney, the new district superintendent. I've got sort of 10, I have a connection with you bucks. The house you lived in Coos Bay was my sister-in-law's house. Coquille, I mean, excuse me. On what's the name of the street?
Nutmeg?
Nutmeg, yes.
Yeah.
I sat many times in that backyard drinking a beer and eating crabs that we caught out there in the bay. So I hope you enjoyed that house as much as I did. And welcome to the community.
Thank you for the welcome. We love the house. It was hard giving it up. So, but we're very excited to be home. Thank you.
What? Okay, that's it, Doug. All right, moving on. Dawn.
All right, first of all, 20 comfort bucks for one of the best people we know, Brenda. And 20 happy bucks because it is so good, even though it's been so frustrating that I can't give Yetta a hug at this point, but we're so happy that she and her father are here. So that's 40 altogether, comfort and happiness.
Thank you. Thank you. Lisa.
I have to give 20 happy bucks to Brenda because I got to experience my first camp out at the Enchanted Forest with Project Youth. And my heart is just so full of that incredible experience. She just continues to support our youth, and I love that this is bringing us together, and she fills my heart with so much love. And also, I'm going to add to that happy bucks. While I'm listening to the presentation and all, I couldn't stand it, and I had to go retest myself. So I took a rapid test, and I am negative. That brings me a lot of tears.
All right. Oh, that's reason to celebrate right there.
Yep. Lutz doesn't even know. He knows now.
He knows now. Lutz somehow weathered all of this with a negative test constantly, right? You never got it, Lutz?
Yes, it's hard to do. When you cohabitate with other people in your house, and yeah, and you just don't even think about it. How you just want to walk up to someone and give them a hug and give them a kiss, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. So now he better be ready because I'm going to plant one on him.
Oh. So Lutz, I heard you claim the Jameson defense.
I did, yeah. I think Jameson kills anything.
For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a whiskey. Tommy.
Yes, ma'am. I have 20 comfort bucks for Brenda. She's a dear, dear person. I've known her for so long, and I'm very sad for her, but she's also a very, very strong, wonderful woman, and I know she'll do really well. And then I'm happy for Lisa getting her negative test, positive test, negative test, backwards, upside down. Anyway, and I think Lutz is it's the great German fortitude that kept him from getting it. So thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you. Debbie.
Well, I just am grateful. I will give comfort bucks for Brenda also. And I am also have happy bucks for the experience I had Tuesday with the mock interviews. The summer people taking the class Career Academy are really motivated students who are taking it during the summer because they want to take other classes during the school year and do the very best they can to take advantage of all the opportunities. And so it was a real joy to meet with those students. And if you ever have an opportunity to do a mock interview, I highly recommend it. Meeting these students is a very wonderful treat. Thank you.
I agree with you. I've done several of those, and they're all so worthwhile. So yes, those that haven't done them, oh, it's a great experience with our young people. Patty.
Hi. Oops. Hi. Many years ago, Brenda had a women's drumming thing out at the Enchanted Forest, and a girlfriend and I went there. This first time there. So in my car, I had a GPS, and we each had GPSs on our phones. We never could find it. I mean, it just took it was forever getting technology to get us where we needed to go. With that in mind, it was a wonderful experience. And from that time forward, Brenda has been just in my heart. So $20 to hug and love on Brenda. Thank you.
Thank you. So well deserved. Sally.
Thank you, Patty. I
I'm excited to make an announcement about somebody else who's here in the room with us today. Somebody who's going to be joining RCC and becoming an Osprey. I am referring to none other than Kelly Gonzalez, our new Director of Marketing. Yay, Kelly!
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to ask Kelly to unmute herself. I'm passing the baton.
Thank you, Sally. During the interview process, I frequently referred to Sally as my campaign manager in getting the job. I am happy to announce that I'll be the new marketing director at RCC starting September 12th. At the same time, I'm very sad to be leaving Southern Oregon Land Conservancy and all the wonderful people I've met there, but I will give $20 for that transition. And in the middle, in between those two gigs, I'm going on vacation to Costa Rica and Panama. So I'll give another $20 for that. So $40 total.
Wow. What a great experience. Yes, I know Judy's going to want to tag team this. Judy.
I was going to say it.
Thank you. And I am going to give $100. And the reason I'm doing that, it's Happy Bucks, is because, as you know, this is my first sort of full meeting with you guys as a member. And I lived long enough to retire. Thank you. And yeah, I also, in 6 short months, have forgotten how to do the put your hand up thing. You know, and so I'll get that from you later. But I just love you guys. I'm so happy to be a new member. And so $100, and thank you for letting me share.
We're so happy to have you, Judy.
Thank you. And a refresher for anyone who's having a hard time finding the raise your hand, if you go to the bottom where it says reactions, you'll see where you can clap and give a thumbs up. And
well, there it is.
Raise hand.
Thank you so much. But I kind of enjoyed.
Yes.
You know, 4th out of 5 kids, I had to do this anyway. So.
Oh, I bet. So, Doug Walker, you have your hand up again. Is that because you didn't ever put it down or what?
No, Chris just walked in. He wanted to mention that he will be putting a donation button on the Table Rock Foundation, Brenda's foundation, soon, and we'll send out a P-mail so that you can make donations in honor of Jan.
Oh, that's a great idea. And Chris, did I see something about 3-leafed plants that you had a little bit of an issue with?
Poison oak.
Yeah, yeah, I think we're all familiar with poison oak.
There's plenty of it at Brenda's.
So you got it?
I've had it plenty of times.
Yeah, stay away from the 3-leafed plants. That's right. Well, you know, Gina, I don't see any other hands. This has been wonderful. And Brenda, I hope you feel the love coming through to you because we all love you.
Yeah. Thank you to Kate. I saw you giving her a hug. I hope that she knows that was from all of us who can't be there in person to give it ourselves.
Yeah.
And lovely flowers.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, back to you, Gina.
All right, anything else that we've missed? No? All right, I do want to give everybody a heads up. Next week, our program is very exciting. It should be a very interesting program about CASA, and our speaker is actually a prospective member, Dan Mata, who today is his 2nd posting. So he should be a full member by the time he's giving us his first presentation next week. So if you're interested in learning more about CASA and getting to meet one of our newest members, please join us next week. And I will leave you all with a thought of the day. And I thought this was fitting to go along with the presentation from the library foundation about kind of building community. And Grace Lee Boggs said that building community is to the collective as spiritual practice is to the individual. I want to thank everyone for being here.